Cyphora. If you've ever used skincare products for months, but your dark spots are still there, the problem is not or might not always be your product. Sometimes it's because you do not really understand what hyperpigmentation is and what ingredients will work for your type of hyperpigmentation. So in this video, I'm going to break down what hyperpigmentation is, the ingredients to tackle each type of them. So if you love skincare to be explained to you in a way that it will make sense, please allow me to subscribe to this channel. Let's go straight into the class. So first, what is hyperpigmentation? Like I said, I'm going to make it very simple. And what is hyperpigmentation? Hyperpigmentation simply means excess pigments in certain areas of your skin. So that pigment is called melanin, and melanin is your skin pigment. I don't know if you understand that. So now the cell, your skin cell that is in charge of producing melanin is called melanocyte. So now melanocyte, just take melanocyte to be your pigment factory. So any type of hyperpigmentation that you have, just know it's coming from your pigment factory, which is the melanocyte. So when your skin gets irritated, inflamed, injured, exposed to too much sun, or even hormonal changes, your melanocyte panics and they start producing what? Too much melanin. That extra melanin then gathers in one area of your skin, and boom, dark spot will start. So that is just how this whole formation thing is. So now I would love us to go through the types, the common types of hyperpigmentation and the causes of them. So I didn't want the video to be too long, so I listed it. So we have hyperpigmentation and the triggers, that's the causes of this hyperpigmentation. The first thing I wrote here is post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. Most estheticians call it PIH in short form. So post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation comes from eczema, acne, burn, cuts, bites from insects, and other types. So these are the common things that causes hyperpigmentation. So if we have acne that is already inflamed, remember I said that when your skin is inflamed, injured, exposed to excessive sun or even hormonal changes, then you might have hyperpigmentation. So for this post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, things like this can lead to PIH. You have your acne, when you have acne, and then that dark spot relieves. That is the post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So the next one is melasma. Mostly it's always hormonal. It might be pregnancy-induced, excessive sun exposure, or your hormones. So this is another type of hyperpigmentation. Then we have sun spots, sun damage. This is mainly caused by excessive exposure to sun without protection. Then we have freckles. Most freckles are either genetic or sun exposure. Then the next one is periorbital hyperpigmentation, aka dark circles. So when you see some people's under eye that is so sunken and dark, the causes might be lack of sleep, genetics, allergies, thin skin, or excess rubbing of the under eye. So when you rub your under eye, you trigger the skin to produce what? Melanin. Then the next one is exogenous ochronosis. This is very common for people that bleach their skin a lot. So exogenous ochronosis comes from high concentration of hydroquinone or prolonged use of hydroquinone, then bleaching products and sun exposure without protection. So these are the major types of hyperpigmentation and the causes, that things that triggers this hyperpigmentation. So how do the pigmenting ingredients work? First, now this is the part most people don't understand, right? The different ingredients fight hyperpigmentation in different ways. Some slow down the melanin production, some exfoliate the pigmented cells away, while some stop the inflammation before the dark spots even form. Now that we understand the causes and the types of hyperpigmentation, I would love to explain the process at which hyperpigmentation appears on the surface of your skin. So we'll be looking at so first of all, you have an injury, right? Then remember what I said. Once you have an inflammation, the melanocyte, which is your pigment factory, will start producing what? pigment. So now we have melanocytes. Melanocyte. The next thing is excess melanin. The melanocyte will now produce excess melanin. The next thing is the dark spots. The dark spot on the surface. So when we treat hyperpigmentation, we are trying to interrupt this process. So when it comes to treatment of hyperpigmentation, we are trying to interrupt this entire process. So this is the first thing that happens, an inflammation. So when this happens, the melanocytes will be triggered to do what? To produce melanin, but it's going to produce it in excess. So when you now have this excess melanin, it runs to the area that the skin, that the brain, has given signal to. It will now produce this excess melanin, will now go to that area of your skin, and it will now lead to dark spots. This is the process. So the treatment of hyperpigmentation is to disrupt and interrupt the entire process. So now we are going to be looking at ingredients, best ingredients you can use for hyperpigmentation. We'll start with niacinamide. Niacinamide is one of the safest beginner-friendly ingredients for hyperpigmentation. It slows down the transfer of melanin from the melanocytes to the skin cells. That's what niacinamide does. It does the work of slowing down this excess melanin that the melanocyte is producing. So it does the work of, it slows down the excess melanin. I don't know if you understand.